Hi guys, so this is my Book of Mormon Spring Fling piece. It's a piece for like this gift exchange on Tumblr, as part of the Book of Mormon community. It's almost like a Secret Santa, but it's in spring instead because I missed the Secret Santa one because I wasn't really part of the musical community yet. But anyway, if you don't know what Book of Mormon is, it's this musical about Mormon missionaries who go on their mission to Uganda and realise that people there don't really care about religion as much as they do because they've got far bigger problems. So anyway, just like in Secret Santas, your recipient usually gives you sort of like a little inkling of what they like, and obviously they like Book of Mormon because they're participating in this Book of Mormon Spring Fling. But for this they just said they wanted sort of just general Book of Mormon with a little bit of McPricely, so I've sort of put that in, but I've put it in very subtly so that if you're not into that sort of thing, then it doesn't stop you from appreciating the art, enjoying it. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a bit about my style as well, because it's something that I've found recently and it's been really good for me, is that I've found this style that I can consistently draw in and be happy with. So I've been using the sort of ink pen in Krita. This is what I used to do because it's free and it's actually a really good software. But yeah, I always use black lines, and there's this ink brush, and then it's got line weight on as well, so you can sort of vary how the lines look. It's not all one flat texture, which I think looks better. And I also, just as a little sort of signature thing, I put this little stripe in on their nose. It's like a sort of white stripe you sometimes overlay, just sometimes like on a lower opacity than normal. So yeah, as you probably noticed, before December-ish I wasn't really into musical theatre, and suddenly, like, if you follow me on Tumblr or anything, you've noticed that I've just become massively into musical theatre now. And it's all thanks to this musical, because I saw it in December and it's just really enveloped me right into this world of musical theatre. And it's just, I'm so grateful to the two guys who wrote this musical. The guys from they wrote South Park. But yeah, I'm so grateful to these guys because they've helped me really figure out what I want to do. I want to be in theatre, I want to be making props, designing sets, and it's just really nice to have that sort of direction for once, because I've always been sort of in that place where you're like, I want to do art but I'm not quite sure where, and everyone's like, oh, pick a specialisation. You're like, I don't know what to do. So yeah, I think I talk a bit more about musical theatre. It's this thing that not many sort of younger people really get into. It's good because of the paywall behind it. Obviously, musical theatre shows aren't cheap. Usually, Broadway shows can go for above 100 for even like a sort of mid-level seat. And it's that paywall behind it, like, that seems to make people think that they shouldn't be involved with musical theatre, or like even like it, because they think it's like a rich posh thing to do. But honestly, it's not. It's such like, and there's so many lovely people who also like musical theatre, even if you're not like got any sort of vocal talent or instrument talent, because I don't either. But it's fun. It's a fun night out. It's a fun, entertaining, and there's so many good developed characters. Yeah, I just think if a musical theatre show ever comes near you, especially if Book of Mormon comes near you, you should try and go and see it, because it can, well, as I've proven, it can change your life. It really can. Oh, here's an interesting bit. I'm starting to get sort of colour in again now, which is nice. I'm just adding the patterns to the ties, which is the ties, not that they standardly have, the ties that they have at the end of the musical, which like fun, I don't want to give it away to you, so I'm just going to call them fun ties. Yeah, my handwriting's coming in now. I think it's okay. I'm not mad at it, but I think it's okay. I just don't like, sometimes a font can look really false and like, ooh. Oh, I'm regrouping everything. I have to have everything grouped because I'm a bit of a control freak, and I'll get really confused as well if I don't have everything grouped up. And this is where you really get to see where you've like missed a line. You go back in and you're like, oh no, I missed a line there. That's why it won't be contained within the space. So what I do is I fill in all the areas with flats. So I usually fill it in with like skin colours or whatever. I just sort of select the thing on. I select the area that I want to colour on the line art, and I will grow the selection by like a sort of, for this thickness of line art, about 6 pixels, because then you don't get the little where it's sort of frayed edges where the line art meets the colour. Sorry about that. You just saw me add the nose stripes, which is quite cool. I quite like doing them. I think they add a little bit sort of extra. They add a little bit of dimension to the image a bit. just because otherwise like it can look very flat and boring. There's me doing the sort of filling in of colours. And I'll tell you a bit about what I based the characters on. So everyone really has their sort of own interpretation of what the characters look like, because everyone goes to see different casts, and obviously there's no like set in stone like this is who portrays this person, because there's so many different casts. There's like Norway, there's America, obviously there's like the Broadway cast, there's a West End cast, there's a Touring of America cast. So everyone just sort of bases it off, I think, who they've seen or who they've seen on the internet. Mine's based off the previous 2017 Book of Mormon West End cast, because that's when I saw Book of Mormon for the first time, with KJ Hippensteel and Cody Jameson Strand, and he's actually on Broadway being Cunningham now, which is really cool. And it's like, oh, this guy who got me into musical theatre is now on Broadway, like being in this massive big role, and it's like, it's weird. It makes you proud of them even though you don't actually know them. Just adding a little bit more pattern on their ties now, and then sort of colouring in the odd little detail that I missed, like we can do glasses now. I hate doing glasses, but so many characters I draw nowadays have glasses. So for glasses, I add sort of I add a blue for the lens, and then I drop the opacity down like a lot, and I put it over the line art layout for like their eyelid, but I don't put it over the line art for their glasses, if you get what I mean. And then I add sort of different thickness of white stripes, just to sort of make it look almost reflective. Oh yeah, and I'm just adding blush now with like, I think I add it with like either with like a fluffy brush tool in Krita, or with like an airbrush. And I also do a sort of selection of the whole people, and then I select everyone and I grow it a little bit and then just fill it with red. Because then when you add it at the end, you can use that to sort of get rid of anything that's gone outside of your line art. And I also use the red line art to sort of clean up what I do with my gradients. So with gradients, I do like a sort of light, it's like a sort of an indigo-y blue. And I highlight, I gradient up from the hairline, down from the neck, and up across the whole image or the whole group of people. So that just leaves like it adds a little bit more to the shadow, because if you just do what I'm doing now, which is the cell shading, then it can look a bit flat. But with that extra bit of shadow gradient, then you also get like an extra dimension to it. So the cell shading is one of the most annoying parts of doing this sort of art style, because you have to go in, you have to find all of like where the individual shadow layers would be and where they would hit, like think about the light source. Like obviously you're not going to have loads of light underneath the chin, so you have to go in and do everyone's chin. You also have to think that's something that happens every time you have a layer of cell shading, like around their nostrils and underneath their nose and underneath their neck and in their ears. But then you also have different, depending on what character you're drawing, you have different stuff, like you have to shade their collars, and yeah, it's not, this part of the drawing is not fun. It makes the drawing look nice, so it's worth doing, but it's not like, I'm really excited to do the cell shading. Oh, and when I'm done with the cell shading, so I put it on a multiply layer, and then I fiddle with the opacity a little bit. The same with the shadow gradients, they all go on a multiplier layer, and they all just get, there's no like precise measurement, they all just get fiddled with until they look nice. And then after I've done all of that, I put the red over top, I put that on overlay and add it to like sort of 5-6%, just because it ties everything nicely together. There's a Tumblr user I got these tips from. I will leave their link in the description. You can see their tutorial, because they can probably explain it better than me. This is coming up to the end of the video. You're going to see that I have a background in this picture as well, but I didn't want to record that because I thought it would just take too long, because I'm not very good at backgrounds, so it takes me ages to do them. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the videos, you can share them if you like as well. Yeah, thanks. Bye!